Hi everyone, I hope you're all really well. Welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. If you are new, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can get notified of new content as and when it gets uploaded. But in terms of today, we've got a review of Zoeva's new brow stuff, which I was so excited about when I heard that they were launching this in the new year. I just thought, yes, as soon as it's there, I'm having me some of that because I'm a huge fan of Zoeva. If I sound a bit funny, by the way, I'm just getting over a cold at the moment. It's my first one of 2017, so yay for having small children who bring germs home. So today's video is a review of a couple of Zoeva's new brow things. I've got the Graphic Brows Pencil and the Graphic Brow Fix. So obviously one's a pencil and one's like a coloured brow gel. So before we get into my thoughts and application and all that good stuff, let's just quickly hop on over to Zoeva's website and we'll read a little bit more about these products. So this was the new line that they came out with in terms of brows. You can see that they came out with a brow powder palette, a highlight for the brow bone, some brow fix gel, and a brow pencil as well. I knew straight away that I wanted to try the brow pencil, and when I saw that they had a set of the two and you saved a little bit of money, this was the one that I actually went for. So in terms of the shade range for the brow pencil, there's 4 different ones to choose from. I went for the darkest just purely because I was worried that the arsenic might be a little bit too much of a light brown. And the brow fix for some reason is only showing up as being in 3 shades, so you've got like a blondie colour, a brown, and then a dark brown. In terms of application, it just says to first shape your brows with the Zoeva Graphic Brows by drawing a fine horizontal stroke along the lower hairline of your arch. Define the top of your brow in the same way and fill in any gaps or sparse areas with short upward strokes. As a last step, gently comb the applicator of the Zoeva Brow Fix through the brows in the direction of the natural hair growth. For a fuller effect, apply several layers and allow a few seconds for each coat to dry before applying the next. So that's how you use both of the products together, which is pretty much how you'd expect. The shade that I went for, Bistre, is described as being dark brown, and the colour is suitable for warm medium to blackish brown hair. The Graphic Brows sculpts and perfects brows with a waterproof, smudge-proof formula and an ultra-fine retractable tip, whilst the Brow Fix achieves perfectly styled and tinted brows in one easy step, thanks to an innovative, superfine spiral brush and a unique, durable formulation. The formula of the brow pencil is vegan and enriched with vitamin E and C and is 100% free of mineral oils, and the formula of the brow gel is 100% free of parabens and fragrances and alcohol. So I've had these for a little while now. They launched on the 23rd of January and I bought them straight away because Zoeva had been teasing the fact that they were going to be launching this new range, and I was like, yes, I like Zoeva, I am totally in there. I'm going to be grabbing some stuff as quickly as I can. I bought it from Zoeva directly, and now quite a few UK retailers are starting to get their hands on it too. So I figured now was probably a good time to do a review on these products because I've probably been using them for about 2 weeks now. I'm wearing both of the products today. I'm just going to take my glasses off, and I've purposefully waited to do this review until my brows needed tinting again. There's still a little bit of colour there, but I kind of wanted to just use this on its own so that we could see what it looked like. My personal preference when it comes to brows is that they look as natural as possible, really, so I hope that I get away with it, because there's a fairly decent amount of hair going on, but not a huge amount of colour. So if you haven't seen my experimental DIY at home brow tint using Just for Men moustache and beard, which I recently posted, I'll pop a card up so you can go check that one out and put a link in the description box because that saves a huge amount of time in the morning. But the first product I've got here is this Graphic Brows Pencil. You get 0.09 grams of product in here. There's a spoolie on one end and then obviously the pencil on the other. The first thing to note about the packaging is that it's very lightweight. Compared to a lot of other retractable brow pencils I've used, it feels really light. I'm not necessarily sure if that's a good thing because I sometimes like something a little bit weightier in my hand, but I guess that's going to come down to personal preference really. What I do like about it is the caps are really solid, so they're not really going to be going anywhere, so that's a big bonus. In terms of the spoolie, it's just a fairly typical spoolie. It's quite a gentle one. Sometimes the spoolies you can get are really harsh and you end up not so much blending what you've done as opposed to just kind of brushing it all off again. So it is quite a soft one. And then in terms of the pencil itself, it's really nicely retractable. So that's all of the product up there. But like I said, I have been using this for a couple of weeks. But it goes down nicely as well, thank goodness. In terms of the colour, I went for Bistre, which is the darkest. I don't have the darkest hair in the world. I do colour my hair and I like to go fairly dark with a brow pencil. If you had really dark hair, like black hair, I'm not sure if this is going to be dark enough for you, because to me, this is just like a really nice dark brown. I think the colour up from this, the other brown, is probably going to be quite light, so I'm glad I went for this one in the end. In terms of the actual application of the product, and I'll pop in a clip of me applying it here, it's actually a really nice product to apply. It's probably one of the nicest brow pencils I've ever used, and the reason for that is you can kind of shape the tip in terms of just using one side to get a bit of an angle going, which enables you to do some really short, sharp strokes if you want to make some kind of hair-like strokes. But at the same time, it's just creamy enough to be able to actually lay down some serious colour if you do have a lot of patchy areas that needs to be filled in. So it's definitely the best of both worlds in terms of what I look for in a brow pencil, because quite often I find that they're just kind of one or the other. They're either really creamy and very blendable, or they're very hard and quite stiff to work with, but this is definitely the best of both worlds, so I'm really pleased with that. It's very quick and easy to use, and you can do the most bold brow look with it or something a bit more natural, which is what I tend to do. And then once you've finished laying down that colour, just really quickly brush through it and blend through it a little bit more, just so that it looks a little bit more natural. Now, you can stop the look there, and that's absolutely fine. I tend to prefer to also use some kind of brow fix or brow mascara just to try and make the hairs on my eyebrows a little bit more prominent again, just to make it look a bit more realistic than just the fact that I've coloured my brows in. And this is where the Graphic Brow Fix comes in. Now, one thing to note about this is for a brow mascara, the wand is actually fairly large. It's thin, but it's quite long, and that does make it tricky to use. I have had multiple slip-ups with this, largely from the end where I've ended up depositing colour in places where I didn't want it to be, usually on this first part of my brow. But if you go with a really light hand and you just lightly comb through, it can just add that extra dimension to your brows that makes them look like you've actually got decent brow hair again, instead of just that colour being filled in. I do like this. I definitely prefer the pencil more than the brow fix, just purely because this is a bit more tricky to work with, whereas I kind of feel like the pencil is pretty much foolproof. This I have gone wrong with on multiple occasions. It can kind of clump if you're not careful on your brow hairs, and it can end up making it look really obvious that you've got product on your brows, which, you know, not many people are blessed to have brows that kind of look this groomed. I don't want people looking at my brows and seeing big chunks of product in there either. So what I tend to have to do most of the time when using this is go back through when it's dried with either the clean spoolie from the Brow Fix or with just a clear brow gel, and just with a really light hand just groom everything through again. In terms of the kind of brush that I do prefer and I would be interested in if Zoeva were ever to make a change about this in the future, is this brush from the Maybelline Brow Drama brow gel, which is the one that I use pretty much every day other than when I was testing these new Zoeva items. I do need to get a darker colour. This is definitely too light for me, but I just find the shape of this brush a lot easier to use, and it just fits the brow line a lot easier. So really kind of all it boils down to is this wand is the biggest drawback. If it was that bit smaller, then I think this would be almost perfect. I do prefer the product in the Zoeva, but I prefer the wand in the Maybelline Brow Drama. The formula of the product itself does make your brows go slightly crispy, but in quite a nice way. You know that they're not really going to be going anywhere if you know what I mean. If you had pretty decent brows that didn't need much colour, I would imagine that this would be a really good product to have in the collection. I just think I don't have enough brow hair for this brush to really work for me. But I think when it comes down to the price point of this, I think it's unbelievably good value. Zoeva continue to delight and surprise me with their products. If you know my channel at all, you know that I'm a big fan of their brushes, and this is my first trial of something within their makeup world. I would definitely love to try more as and when I can afford to do it, but certainly in regards to their new brow products, I think they're absolutely fantastic, and the price point, you just can't argue with it at all. This 2-pack that I picked up was £13.50. and I just think that represents absolutely excellent value for something that isn't really drugstore level. It's definitely a higher quality level than that, but you're getting it for an absolutely fantastic price. So I think Zoeva have pitched this absolutely brilliantly, and I cannot wait to try some more of their makeup. So that's it for today's review. I really hope that you found it useful and interesting. If you did, just give me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And as usual, I'll pop a link to my subscribe button and my last video. If you want to go press those, that would be greatly appreciated too. Anyway, I hope you're all really well, and I will see you again soon. Bye!